Hold on 1 second. What is that?
What's the Amber?
It's a word when there's a car missing with a missing child. Why do you all have that on?
I can't see the video.
Okay, you can't see us?
No.
Uh-oh. I can't, I see that we can, and I don't know why. What would I do?
Yeah, it's
Oh, I found it.
Found us? Okay.
Oh my God! All right, enough. Who cares? He's trying to ask me a question. I need you to listen. Turn your phones off. Off. They shouldn't even be. Please. It's not
I
gonna.
don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Made it like that. I don't care. Even if we turn it on, we get it. You know what? Enough is enough. Forget it. I'm sorry.
Deb, if you go to settings on the bottom, and you go to video, what does it say?
There's an X on it.
So is there anything that you can do to make it not X?
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Great. Okay, thank you. Okay, so what we're going to be doing, first of all, it's very important that it's not like a regular class. It's when all of you talk at once, it becomes very difficult to teach this class. And I'm telling you right now, the stuff that you're going to be learning here is stuff that you do not know. And it's extremely important information as a Jewish person to know the stuff that we're going to be learning. And it'd be a big shame if you guys didn't, because you're a little too excited about it's great being excited about the technology, but also I don't want anyone to lose out on what we're learning. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen, and what we have here, does anyone know what this flag is of? Yeah, in the middle, whenever anyone speaks, please just say your name. So in the front on the left side, my right side, or on the right side of the class.
Alex, the Israeli flag.
Right, it's the Israeli flag. Anyone know what it's called in Hebrew? Yeah, in the blue shirt in the front. Your name again, though, please. Yeah. Right. Okay. So this in the middle, it's called the Magen David. That's the symbol. But the flag in Hebrew, is called what? In black on the far left. You have to be louder, and you have to tell me your name.
Okay. Her name is Jessie, but she decided not to.
Okay. Don't worry, Jessie.
I know it in Spanish.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so just for time's sake, the word for flag is Hebrew. In Hebrew is called degel. And the person who said that this was a Magen David, which literally means the shield of David, this became the flag of the Jewish people. Down here, what we have is a map of modern day Israel. Now it's very important. For some reason, I'm echoing. Am I echoing for you guys?
A little bit, but it's not that bad actually.
Trying to think why that would be. It's just very annoying on my part.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, can you mute me on the laptop? Like, can you turn off the sound on the laptop so nothing comes out? Can you guys still hear me?
Laptop? Yeah. Here, wait. What do you want to do? He wants to
turn off the volume.
Okay, hold on.
It should be just one button, and then let's see if this works.
No, I gotta find it. I'll find it. Here it is. Okay, hold on.
Okay, you guys are good? Hello?
I got it. It's off.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Oh no, that's not gonna work.
Okay, keep it on.
Now we can't hear you.
Okay, so keep it on.
Yeah.
Okay, so keep it on. That's fine. Just raise your hand if you'd like to speak. So this is a map of Israel. Very important. Raise your hand if you've seen a map of Israel before. Okay, raise your hand if you've seen a map this detailed of Israel. Great. Raise your hand if you understand what this detailed map means. Okay, great. So that means a lot of you, because this map, it's very interesting, because most countries are not like this. When you see Israel's map, that in of itself is a political statement. Okay? Now remember this. When you see a map of Israel, depending on where the lines are, what's colored, what's not, what's a similar color, that is a political statement. And we're going to learn about that. And everyone here, I'm sure, knows about or has heard about the Palestinian and Israeli conflict, the Arab-Israeli conflict. This is something which we are going to not focus on, because I want to be very clear about this. This class is not about the Arab-Israeli conflict, which is an important topic. It will be one of our topics. We are learning about Israel. That's what we're doing here. We're learning about Israel and all, or as much as we can, and that it entails, right? That will impact your view or understanding of the Arab-Israeli conflict, but that's not the be-all and end-all. Do we have any questions? I see a hand up in the back.
Where are you approximately on the map?
That's a great question. Thank you. Who asked that?
Me, Barry.
All right, so I'm probably in the, I would say probably the most controversial city in the world, if I would say that. I'm in a place called Jerusalem. Jerusalem, do you see this area called the West Bank? You see this? So this area, and I'm going to be very, very general. This area is a different color. All the areas that are in orange, like this, I'm not talking about the outside, but in Israel itself, this belongs to the Palestinians, more or less. In the West Bank, you'll have something what's called a settlement, which is something which we'll talk about. But in this West Bank, this is Arab territory, this is Palestinian territory for the most part. Jerusalem is right on the border. And half of it is in the West Bank, so belonging to Palestinian territory, and half of it's not. So I live in the part where half of it is not. And even the half of the part that is in the West Bank is under the Jewish people conquered that land in 1967, which is something which we'll learn about. So Jerusalem is a very, very important city. It's in the middle, a lot of heat, a lot of issues go on there, but also a lot of amazing things. It's the capital of Israel. It is not necessarily recognized. I don't even think it's recognized by the United States. Is that correct?
No.
It's not recognized as the capital of Israel, I don't think.
It is, but a child applied for a passport with that, and they wouldn't let him put Jerusalem as his place of birth as Israel. It was very, very. We're not really sure.
No, I don't think, maybe it's changed, but the United States views Tel Aviv as the capital of Israel, if I'm not mistaken.
Possibly.
Right?
I don't know the official. I'm not sure of the official word, but given Obama, I'm not surprised.
Well, it's way before that. But this is Israel. Look, even as I said, you could look at this map, and this map is the most special thing in the world because it brings out such a discussion so much just by looking at it. So just seeing a map, we're already in talks. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about. Let's have one question, and then we're going to continue. In the back, you had a question? No? Okay, let's continue. So why are we here? What are we doing here? Why am I still up late at night? Why are you guys looking at a screen at this face? And the idea is because we're embarking on a different type of learning. We're trying to do something that is different. We're trying to learn in a different way. It's not just to be cool. It's not so that we could just use computers. It's because people learn differently and in different ways. And that's what we're going to do here. But because we're learning on the internet and because we're using technology, it is very important that we discuss something called netiquette. Can anyone guess what netiquette means? Let's hear from someone you haven't heard yet. Yes, okay, in the front, why not?
Like proper, like rules.
Right, so etiquette is proper etiquette for the internet, like the World Wide Net. So netiquette, it all finds netiquette for online learning. And I'm sure I would be, I'm not, I wouldn't be surprised if in your schools you've discussed this. Everybody knows how important what you put on the internet, what you put on Facebook, social media, blogs, anything like that is important. The same applies here. So what I'd like to do is go over a couple of the do's and don'ts of learning like this online with the internet. And one here. So can we have a couple people read? Let's read the do, the first one. So on my, let's go in the front over here on my, or on your right. Yeah, right in the front.
Do your best work.
Right, very simple. If I give work, or if we're doing stuff, we're having a discussion, do it well, right? Do it well. It's very important. Okay, don't. Who wants to read the don't? In the back, straight in the middle. Yeah.
Silly or inappropriate.
Right. Right. Don't give any inappropriate responses. Very important lesson, not just for this class, but forever. What is going to go on the internet? What's going to go on is going to stay on. What you're going to say is recorded. Everything is fair game here. So make sure you say everything is thought out. Obviously, people make mistakes, but don't make too big mistakes. Okay. Do. Let's have someone read the next do in the gray on the left side.
Respect other people's responses.
Great. Very simple. We're good. Respect other people's responses. Don't. Yeah, in the back left. Right. So it's not past, but it's post. We're going to be using different tools where we're going to be writing. It's very important that people respect other people and don't cover and don't write anything inappropriate. Okay, let's go to the do. Who wants to read the next do? Yes, on my far left in the white.
Oh, make sure like this is what you work on.
Know what you want to say.
What you want to say.
Very important. Before you post something, before you put something up, think about it. Life lesson. I'm giving you guys free advice. Free advice. Think about what you put on, whether it's in class here, whether it's at school, whether it's at home. Don't. Very similar. Don't. Who's going to say the don't? Yeah, in the back with your hand up.
Post without checking your work.
Great. Again, think about what you put on. Do, the last one. Someone we haven't heard from today? Yes, in the front in the black.
Give constructive feedback.
Right. This is a very important. This is I find something which really works well in these classes. We want to hear your opinion. And there's a certain way to give your opinion. You don't have to scream. You don't have to say something bad. If you disagree, you can write about it. You could say it nicely. And we want to hear it. And that's also to me. If you don't like something that we're doing, you could always write me an email. You could text me or whatever. Not text, but do other things. And lastly, don't in the front on the right.
Don't be rude or insulting, etc.
Great. Thank you very much. Speaks for itself. Anybody want to suggest other things that they shouldn't do or should do? Should have a fun time. That's what you should do. No? Okay, fine. All right, let's continue. Okay, so does everyone have their paper and pens with them?
Yes.
Okay, so we're learning about Israel. We're good. People know how to act on the internet. No questions, no anything. Okay, so okay, we need everyone to be. I need everyone to. Excuse me. Remember what I said? I need everyone to please be quiet. It's very difficult to do this if we are all talking. Okay. I don't know. So every class we have, I'm going to start class with a special, occurrence that's happening in Israel or that's happened. Sometimes it's going to be good news. Sometimes it's going to be bad news. Sometimes it'll be a bit of both. And this class, we're going to start with some Israel news that happened. And it's the wedding of Sarah Littman and Ariel Beagle. Now, does anybody know why this wedding is very special? Did anyone hear of this wedding? Okay, so let me explain to you. Sarah Littman, 2 weeks ago, was traveling to see her now husband, Ariel, with her family. Unfortunately, on the way there, a terrorist came and shot at the car that her family was in. Unfortunately, killing her father and brother. It's a horrible story. It's extremely sad. One of the saddest parts was that they were supposed to be getting married that week. They're supposed to be getting married that week, the week that her parents, her father and brother were killed. Now, many of you know that in Jewish law and in Jewish tradition, after a close family member dies, you have something. Does anyone know what you do for a 7-day period? Do you know what it's called? Right.
7 days.
So there's 7 days coming from the word Sheva, which is 7 in Hebrew. So Sarah had to sit Shiva for 7 days, and they postponed the wedding. Now, any of you can imagine, and it should never happen to anyone, a close member family dying, let alone being murdered by a terrorist, and a younger brother. What they did was very shortly after the Shiva, a week after, they had the wedding. But not only did they have the wedding, they invited the entire Jewish people. Okay, now, I don't know, what the biggest wedding I've ever been to had maximum 800, 900 pushing it people. They invited everyone. What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you, last Thursday night, I went to the wedding. I've never met them in my life. And at their wedding, there were over 10,000 Jewish people from all over Israel, from all over the world. I met people from Montreal, LA, New York, Chicago, who came from all over to celebrate in this wedding. Now, the reason why this is such important news, and it made all of Israel news, it made Jewish news all over the world. The reason why it's so important, because it represents two very important things of the Jewish people, something which we hope to see in our studies of Israel. One is that when tragedy happens to the Jewish people, we don't let that hold us back. We always push forward, we always continue, and we always go. And number two is that the Jewish people are there for one another. That we will travel all over the world, we will help one another, we will push each other to do better, doesn't matter the circumstances. And the places which this is represented most of the Jewish people is in Israel. Israel represents the perseverance and fight of the Jewish people, that although they were kicked out of their country, the Jewish people were kicked out of their country 3,000 years ago. 3,000 years ago, the Jewish people were kicked out of the country, and they came back and established a state in 1948. And not only did they establish a state just with Israelis, but Jews from all over the world came to help establish the state. And this is important. It's not a perfect place. I will be the first person to say that Israel is not perfect. A lot of room for improvement. We're only like 70 years old. America is like over 200 years old or something like that, right? More, 400. Well, when was the revolution again? 1684 or 1864? 1776. I forget. Sorry, I mixed up Canada and America. Right, all these things. And so that's what I wanted to start with. Some very, although sad, very inspiring. And I'm telling you, I was at the wedding. Here, I even have a video. Yeah, they invited everyone. I didn't eat anything. Let me see. I have a video on my phone. Let me see if I could. Here's a video. This is at the end of the wedding when they do the like Birkat Hamazon at the end. That's them sitting there. Let's see what else I have. This is a man saying a blessing. That's them saying a blessing at the end. They had a sign where people could sign up, and you could just Google this story, and you'll see look. This is the wife. This is 2 weeks after her father and brother were killed, and it was very difficult for her. But these were soldiers at the wedding, female soldiers at the wedding. I wasn't planning on doing this, but why not? This is the dancing. And again, so many people, over 10,000. So that's what I'd like to start with. Okay, we're going to continue. We got to go a little fast. But any questions on what I just said about Israel, about the wedding, anything? Yes, in the front.
How did they invite everybody?
How did they invite anyone? You ever heard of social media? Facebook?
Okay.
They literally posted on Facebook, and they posted on Twitter, and they went to the news outlets, and they said, we are inviting the entire Jewish people. And not everyone came, but I don't know. Like, I think the only person that had 10,000 people at the wedding was what's her name? William and what's the one that just got married? The Prince William? Right. Okay. Any other questions? As we say in Hebrew, Yalla, let's go. Okay. Here's the question, which I'd like you guys to please write an answer to. What advice would you give to someone living with blindness? What advice would you give to someone living with blindness? Please write that down. You have 2 minutes. Yes.
I said the answer right on the page.
It's not the answer. Those are options. It's not really a right or wrong answer. It's sort of like an opinion. What would you do? Let's take another 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Okay, let's have a couple of answers. Let's have on the far right in the black.
Even though you can't watch your step, people will always guide you in the right direction.
Very nice. What else do we have? Let's have also on the right, but in the blue, I can't see you so well. Yeah, in the glasses. What's your name?
Get a walking dog.
Okay, cool. Let's see what else. Anyone else? Let's have the back left.
I would get them an aid and a dog to help them.
Okay, cool. Anyone else in the gray or white in the front left?
I would help them on the streets and support them and
Awesome. Okay, so these in the middle, and just say your name again. Anyone that speaks, please say your name first. So in the middle in the stripes.
Isabel, as long as you have good friends to guide you, you don't need your eyes.
Okay. All right. So it's very important. Okay, guys, please, if you guys could please remember, it's hard to hear when everyone's talking at once.
No talking.
Remember, just so we can learn. So I'm going to share my screen. It's very important because the Torah, the Bible teaches us this very lesson. Torah tells us before a blind man or before a blind person, do not put a stumbling block. What do you think that means? What do you mean by a stumbling block? What do you think that means? Yeah, in the front.
Don't do something intentionally to hurt them.
Okay, great. That's a very interesting thing you say. Don't do something intentionally that may hurt them. Anyone else? So it's very important. I'm not gonna explain what this. I'm not gonna ask you different explanations, but this idea of before a blind man, do not put a stumbling block. I want you to think of a stumbling block just a little bit more than maybe just like an actual rock. The way that the Torah describes, the way that the Torah explains how, the way the Torah explains that do not put a stumbling block has nothing to do with putting an obstacle, trying to trip someone, make them fall. It has to do with what advice do you give them? What advice do you give to someone? Now listen to this. It's not just a person who's physically blind, but a person who's blind is someone who doesn't know the way. Now, who doesn't know the way, that means doesn't know the way, like physically, the direction, but also maybe like, oh, you know what? Your friend may say like, oh, I don't know what to do this summer. Should I go to camp or should I get a job? And your friend may say, you know what? I don't want this person to come to camp because then they're gonna tag along and they're gonna annoy me. So you say, oh, go get a job. It's better. You'll make money, everything. That's guiding a blind person, blind, not physically blind, but like doesn't know where they're going. So the Torah explains in a little bit of a different way. What I like to do now is can I have 2 people or 3 people to volunteer and read? So let's have in the front left in the gray, what's your name?
Jason.
Okay, we're gonna have Jason. Let's have in the blue, what's your name again? Sorry, in the front? Emily. And in the back right, what's your name again? Yeah. Okay, so let's have Jordan, you read first.
It's Jason.
What?
Jason.
Okay, I'll stop. So Jason, you want to read first, please?
And wait, the blue one?
Yeah.
I can't see.
Go that way. Yeah, I can't even go.
Okay, there it is. Your picture is in the way. Let me make that smaller.
Just hold it. No.
Okay, go ahead. Now they can see it.
And you shall grope at noon as the blind grope in darkness.
Okay, so now we're going to ask a question about what this line is a verse in the Torah. We're going to ask what it means, okay? Continue reading, please, Jason.
How can the blind grope more in the dark than in the day? What difference does it make to a blind person if it's dark or not outside?
Right. So do you understand the question? Don't focus so much on the words of the verse, but it basically talks the blind person grabs something in the noon or at night. Who cares? For a blind person, noon, night, morning, day, it's all the same because it's always the same because they're blind. Thumbs up if you understand the question, thumbs down if you don't. Okay. Okay, so we're going to read something from the Gemara. Now, just for people who don't know, the Gemara is a Jewish text that discusses Jewish law. It's a very important text, a very important book. it's a very large book. It's like 39, 40 volumes talking about Jewish law, about all different types of things. But in the discussion, it's not like sort of like US law books where it's just laws. It also talks, there's also stories in it. So it's not just a law book that says, do this, do that. It's a law book, but a discussion where other stories come out. So in this one book of the Gemara, there's a story. Now I gave like my own spin on it, so it's not like the actual words in it, but it's getting the idea. So the two people, Emily and I forget the other person? Okay, so Emily, you'll be Rabbi Yossi, and I forget the other person, but you'll be Rabbi Tiveria. So can you please read?
I was totally confused about that one too. I mean, it makes no sense. And you shall grope and nobody as blind grope in dark.
I hear you, man.
Now, what difference does it make to a blind man whether it is dark or light?
I'll help you figure it out, man. I'm blind.
Just get off the phone. Nor did I find the answer until the following incident occurred. I was once walking on a pitch black. I saw a blind man walking in the road with a torch in his hand. I said to him, "My son, why do you carry this torch?"
As long as I have this torch in my hand, you can see me and save me from the holes and the thorns and the briars.
So you carry it not for yourself, but why?
So so we have this story. It's actually a very interesting story. And if you guys could please take your pens and paper and please answer this question. In the story of Rabbi Yossi, who is he holding the torch for? And you have different options here that you could write your answer to. Please take 2 minutes to write the answer. Okay, so we had this story, and we want to know Rabbi Yossi is carrying a torch in the middle of the night. Who's he carrying it for if Rabbi Yossi himself is blind? Write down on your paper, who do you think he's carrying it for? Okay, let's take another minute or so to answer the question, please. I don't see everybody writing. If everybody can please write. Okay, let's take 30 more seconds. Okay, can we have some volunteers who wants to respond, please? Yes, in the middle, in the black, just say your name first, please.
My name is Lucretia.
Hi.
My answer is for others to know he's there, see him, help him.
Others I can see him and help him. Great. Can you explain your answer a bit?
That's my answer.
Do you want to explain why you chose that one?
Others can see him and help.
I think it's that answer because he's not doing it for himself. He's trying to help others who are also blind.
Okay. But why would others need it if they're blind? Why do they need light?
Because they can see.
But they're blind. How can they see?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyone else want to try? Thank you very much for that answer. Okay, let's have in the back in the yellow.
Seth? I don't have an answer yet. It's all the above, you said.
Okay, no, that's enough. Next person.
Let's have on my far right on the front. On the far right in the front, you in the keeper, the white keeper.
Alex.
Alex.
So like someone's like driving past in the middle of the night, like he doesn't live there, wants people to think that he's like not blind, that he's normal. Like,
Okay. Okay, so let's have another answer in the front.
Me?
Yeah.
I wrote other, and I was actually writing that he wrote it, that he's doing it for other people, so they don't have to be blind in darkness, because it makes a difference. Like if he's in the darkness and he holds up a torch, no one else is blind in darkness, and he is.
Right. So for the sake of time, I want to just. Is everything okay?
That was it. Let's continue on.
All right. For the sake of time, I just want to point out to here where he says, "As long as I have this torch in my hand, people see me and save me from the holes and the thorns." Meaning, he holds it not for himself, but so that others can help him. Now, that's an interesting thing. It's not like a selfish thing. He's doing it because he's giving other people the opportunity to do a good deed, right? He knows, no, he could probably get a guard dog, he could probably get a stick, he could probably do this. He's using a torch so that other people can have the opportunity to do good. That's a very interesting thing, right? Let's have a couple comments in the blue.
My name's Emily. Rena, but why is he holding the torch? Because why would he hold it just for other people to notice?
Because he wants the idea that the Gemara is teaching us is he's giving opportunities for other people to help him. Meaning he doesn't need the torch. He doesn't need the torch because he could just walk around himself. Like he knows how to get around. The light doesn't help him, but he holds it open so that other people can help him. Right? It's a way of asking for help. And it's a very interesting idea. We had some work that I wanted to do, but because you guys don't have laptops, have any of you heard of Lino boards? We're going to do something like this. I'll show you what it looks like. I'm still sharing my screen. Basically, this is a Lino board. Think of it as it's just like stickies. It's like Post-its. So usually what I'll do is I'll ask a question and I'll ask you guys to do it. So the way you do it is you just take a Post-it and you can write your name or you can write your answer and then you write your name and then you post. And then you can move it around. And then this way, and then if you want to, remember I said in the etiquette not to post over someone. So someone did this, for example, you'd be posting over someone. Okay. So we'll be using this tool a lot, actually. It's really awesome. It's cool. And you could put in pictures, you could put in movies, you could put in different attachments. So whatever, we're not going to be able to get to that now. So it's okay though. Don't worry. All right, so why am I bringing up blindness? So we're going to talk about two things while we finish up here, but I wanted to show you two things. Israel is known to be a leader in the world of technology. So first thing is Israel builds world's first eye-free smartphone, right? It's the first phone in which people who can't see, they can make benefit from. Pretty amazing, right? Israel, some of the things we're going to learn about Israel are amazing. And the technology, you guys have heard of Waze. You guys have heard of, what else is there? USB. You know USBs? That was created in Israel. Technology, like environment, all these amazing things in Israel are unbelievable. So one of the things was Israel built this eye thing. Now it's very interesting. Have any of you raised your hand if you've been to Israel? Okay. All right. So hopefully some of you guys will visit in Israel. In Israel, they have two really cool places. They have what's called a blind museum, which I've been to, where it's a museum where you go into a place that's like pitch black. Like not like, oh, I can see nothing. You can't see. And they take you into like different places where they try to show you what it's like to be a blind person. Another place is called the blind restaurant, where you go and eat in a restaurant that's pitch black, and you see what it's like to be blind and eat in a restaurant. These are very important things because Israel, as I said before, is a place that cares. It's a place that wants to develop. It wants to do better. And what we see here is when it comes to blindness, which is something, and we're going to talk about light. Like, why did I talk about the torch and the light? And trying to get people to help. It's because Israel is always there. And we're going to look at so many different examples. Israel is always there to help out. I wanted to show you a little video clip about Israel Guide Dog Center for the Blind and how they help others. Tell me if you can, I'm going to share my screen again. I'm going to share it with sound.
I think we got it. Yeah. Move it over.
I hear it.
There it is. Okay, it's right in the middle. Good.
יש אנשים שרוצים לחיות, הם רוצים להמשיך לחיות, למרות שהם עיוורים ולמרות שהם מתבגרים, הם לא קשישים. המרכז
It's subtitles on the bottom.
הוקם בגלל שלמדתי שאדם עיוור פה בארץ לא יכול לקבל כלב נחייה. המרכז הוקם בגלל שאני פגשתי את נורמן ופיליס לבנטל בנר ראשון של חנוכה ב-1986, זה בעצם מעין נס חנוכה.
What I've discovered after knowing Noah since 1986 is that his dream is so important and that I just wanted to be a part of it. The message of the Guide Dog Center is what one person can do if he has a special idea. In this case, it was to help blind people become independent.
לא תקלל חרש ולפני עיוור לא תיתן מכשול ויראת מאלוהיך אני אדוני. אני חושב כל הזמן על הפסוק הזה, כי בעצם בזמן האימון אנחנו שמים הרבה מכשולים כדי שאותו אדם ידע להתמודד איתם בהמשך הדרך. כלב נחייה משרת את האדם העיוור כ8 שנים. אני בעבר שלי החלפתי 3 כלבים, אבל כל כלב היה משודרג יותר, איכותי יותר, טוב יותר, ואני מאמין שהבא, קשה להאמין שיש יותר טוב ממה שיש לי כרגע, אבל אני מאמין שהבא ומצפה ומקווה שהוא יהיה יותר טוב ממה שיש לי כרגע.
Many of them are employed by people who aren't familiar with guide dogs, and they would be told by their employer, no, you can't bring your dog here. It's not acceptable to bring him into your office. And so we have to go and explain that.
So I'm going to stop there because we're running out of time. But basically, this Israel Dog Center started in the holiday of Hanukkah, which is the holiday where we light. And fire and light is a very big symbolism in Judaism and in Israel. Light, we say we're the light unto the nations, that we show people. And just like a light which shows people the way, we hope it shows the good way. And if I could start with Israel, and something very important about Israel is that it is a place that does amazing things, that tries to give opportunities to so many different people to do good. Whether it's helping blind people, whether it's feeding the sick, whether it's doing different forms of charity. It's a place that gives people the opportunity. We're coming up to the holiday of Hanukkah, and I'm not finished. I wasn't able to get through the entire class because we spent a long time getting to know each other, which is always great. But it's Hanukkah in Israel. and we'll talk. I think we meet again before, so hopefully we can talk a little bit about it and see what Hanukkah in Israel is like. But it was very nice meeting everyone. Happy Hanukkah, and I hope to see you guys soon. And next time that you'll all have laptops.
I hope you get some sleep. You can take care of the little guy in
Yeah,
the morning.
seriously.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
Bye.